Are you up and running?
Yep, should be.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, August 8th, 2017. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes and reports received and filed.
I have July 2017 clerk fees filed, July 2017 recorder fees, and July 2017 sheriff fees filed.
Commissioner liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
Planning Commission meeting tonight, MAC Board of Directors meeting, will be Wednesday and Thursday. That's a lot before season. Guess we got another meeting Thursday. I won't be here for that. Y'all got that covered, and it's just that.
Yeah, and I do.
Maybe. We'll get it covered.
All right.
See if you can move it up, Debbie.
Okay. I'll send it to her.
I need to scoop him up.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So if we can get it up 7 or 8.
That'd be fine.
So we got Wednesday's coffee Friday morning. We got radio down for.
Yeah,
Friday.
KWAS.
Okay.
You or Chris want to do it?
I'll be gone.
Let me check and see what's good.
Okay, I can do it again. I'm not pressing.
Well, if you just want to take care of it, if I can do it, I'll get ahold of you.
Okay.
And, Saturday night's the Blue Tiger Casino night. And then we bought the Grand Champion ham on Thursday, and Sam tried to buy another one. Where did Larry go? Thanks, Larry.
Oh, but he's got deeper pockets than I do.
Hey, I'll just bump you up to 300. When I emailed, I said I wouldn't raise you much.
No, he
Well,
did.
while he had his hand up, you should have said 800.
Next time I'm gonna sit behind Sam.
Yeah.
With friends like this.
Right that way in the back. I didn't see keyhole. I didn't know who I was bidding against half the time. Well, I can't get any of these. That's it.
You all may have bought the Grand Champion, but I bought the best ham.
That's right, that's right.
Still sucking up.
Hey, it was a good time. I would have paid a little extra just for you to keep bumping. I didn't know he was going to bow out so quick. I don't know.
Neither did I.
Oh, God. These are my friends.
I had one more report filed too, I overlooked.
Oh.
It's the July 2017 Treasurer's Reconciliation Report.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't have.
Wow. I've got Cap Region Executive Board meeting tomorrow morning, got a chamber lunch, the NID. The Chiefs meeting's Thursday night, but I'm doing the United Way Power of the Purse at the Country Club. And then
Is it
Fridays.
purse or satchel?
Well, Lyle Rosberg and I, we're in Tuxas. We're going to be at the door welcoming people and
You're not
taking,
carrying a
accepting
purse?
tips. No, we're not.
That kind of
No.
defeats the purpose,
And don't
right?
forget Fridays, they renegade, each side
We can
renegades.
find you a nice man bag or something.
You come out and bring
He
it.
probably sells those at his store.
You probably do, don't you? Do you have those?
Yeah. You want one?
I don't know, Indiana Jones had one, so it'll be all right.
Yeah, I got a denim and leather one.
We're never gonna get out of her today. Were you in a hurry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Joy, are you sure you want to come up here?
I don't know.
Presentation from invited guest Joy Sweeney with the Council for Drug-Free Youth to discuss MFH grant. Are you sure? Come up here
I'll
to,
come in the hot seat
Yeah.
and see how entertaining I can be. I'm sure I can't top that.
and this is school, so I have my ruler. So everybody behave.
Well, basically, what we wanted to do is form a partnership with the County Health Department. It's a 3-year grant. We'd like to hire somebody. They would be a 50-50 split County Health Department employee, Council for Drug-Free Youth employee. It's to monitor and train and input data on the Opioid Coalition Resource Hub. And since Christy has been so much at the forefront in Cole County and in the municipal area, Jefferson City as well, at getting the PDMP implemented here, we would like to institute this resource hub, and basically what it does is it identifies the problem. It's a software system that also goes upstream and collects data from law enforcement, hospitals on the solutions and whether or not the way we're addressing the problems are solving them. And then it has downstream preventative treatment and recovery measures to and who's working on what, and it's all real time. So I can access it, somebody at SSM can access it, one of the pharmacies can access it, and it's kind of like PDMP, only this is all about solutions, preventative treatment and recovery solutions. It's an amazing software package. It's very expensive and very labor intensive, and that's why we would need to hire somebody to staff it. And we don't have the facility, so they would be housed at the county health department. And I'm sure you have plenty of questions. I need to map it and I need to show it to you on a computer really to explain it. But it's a drill down system. You click on how we're going to educate youth, and it would identify what programs we're going to use, where we're going to do it, and how we're going to address it. You click on how the pharmacists are going to be involved, and it would open up a strategic map of how we're going to address that problem. It's absolutely amazing. It's already developed. All we would be doing is implementing it and enhancing it for our community.
So how much is the grant you've got?
Well, we don't have it.
You're applying.
We're applying, and
Yeah.
before we can apply, we got to make sure that we have a place to put this other person, and it would fund the job fully. The grant is about $120,000 a year for 3 years, so it would be a total of $360,000. And that's what we're applying for. And we might not get it. I don't know. Never applied for this before, and so we'll see. I mean, but I think it's well worth it. It would be a way to comprehensively address the problem. SSM Health, CAP Region, JCMG, Whaley's have all said that signed MOA, memorandums of agreement, as well as the school district, and there's one other, I've got 6. ACT Missouri is going to work with us too, statewide training agency. So, they're all willing to help us, support us in every capacity that we possibly need. So it's just a matter of submitting the grant and seeing what happens.
So do we have room for somebody over there?
Well, it sounds like it wouldn't be awarded until December. We have a small queue. We could put him in upstairs until we move. So we could, and I mean, Joya just mentioned this morning that, it would be half-time at our office and half-time, I don't know how we work out that's financials, but, if they could be at her office part of the time. But we do have space for now.
And a lot of it would be out in the community too, working, at the various hospitals and the different pharmacists' office too. So, yes, that's.
And most likely when you get the money in December, you don't get anyone hired till January.
Right.
February. It takes a while to get the position.
Right, and we're not hiring anyone until we get the money.
Yeah, that was the first time I asked Christy when I got your email was, do we have some place to put them?
Well, have you seen our office? We're kind of crowded in too, but, that's why I talked to Christy. But we're trying to form a bigger partnership here too. And that's, I think, working together to solve problems and knowing what the other hand, one hand knowing what the other hand is doing is really going to be a lot. Help us address this issue. And that's what it's all about, is having a resource hub where we all know what's going on in the community, and we're not duplicating services, we're also enhancing each other's efforts. So that's the goal.
So does it cover the software and
That's what
anything that?
It covers the software, the support team of the software, the back-end support team, because really none of us, even the new hire, wouldn't know any of it. So they've got a training program that would cover that. It would cover any travel expenses for learning, if we have to go there, but I think they're going to come to us. They're in Minneapolis, and they're planning to come here. It would cover, basically, we went down through the budget to make sure that every little penny was covered, because we don't have any money to invest in it right now. And so, and we don't want to spend any money out of pocket. If we're going to do this, we want to apply for the grant and have the grant cover the whole cost of it, yeah.
Joy, do you know if any other counties in Missouri are doing it?
None. The only two places that it has already been implemented was one in Indiana and one in North Carolina. It's been very, very successful in both of those two counties. And so we would be the Missouri pilot. And that's another reason why I reached out to you, because I know you've been at the forefront. I mean, you were the second one behind St. Louis and jumping on the bandwagon with PDMP. So it's important, and we can't just think that the problem's going to solve itself, because it's not. We have to do something. We have to be proactive. And if, you know, Cap Region is doing one thing and somebody over here is doing something else, and we're not connecting those dots, we're not going to really empower our community to be as successful as we can be. If we get everybody together and all working together, and we don't have to sit down and have meetings to discuss it, we can just look up in the computer and find out where this is and what's happening. We can make it happen a lot faster too. And he thinks that we can create a sustainable program in 3 years too. That was the other thing is, you know, I don't want to get this up and have everything successful for 3 years and then have it just fall off the edge of a cliff. So we've developed a sustainability plan too. We're working that into creating the grant. I don't have it done, so I can't present it to you. We just started this about 2 weeks ago, and we have the grant almost written. It's due next week, so that's why we're here today, kind of in a flurry, trying to present this to you. But it's they've been working on it for 2.5 years, so that's why the software is so fully developed and very comprehensive. I sat there and did a tutorial with them for about a half hour and was in awe. It was amazing. And the back end of it has all kinds of information on best practices that have been tried in different areas and how effective they were and the results. So we can upload our data too that we come up with, and that's what they're hoping we'll do. That's one of the things that the new position will do.
Joy, I was looking at the grant announcement because, you know, we're also applying for it separately for our electronic medical record, and they extended the deadline. It's not due until August 28th.
That's what I said. That's what I thought too. We're just,
2 more weeks.
yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Thank goodness, but we still want to have something, you know, concrete so that we can send it to all the partners, have everybody look at it before we submit it. I don't want to wait till the 28th and be saying, okay, we need to change this. Exactly. So we're trying to get it done by Monday so that we can have everybody sign off on it and really know what we're doing before we send it in.
So the sustainability plan, does that, I mean, what are you kind of thinking with that?
Well, it's a presentation. Once we have documented results, then we can present that to state and federal partners and have them sign in and help support it. And we also have other, there's other research opportunities for other states that want to, and other foundations like Missouri Foundation for Health that want to help support this solution. You know, I mean, it's a national problem. It's not just a local problem. And so they are looking at us, again, as a pilot and want to see how successful we are. And if we can demonstrate success and outcomes, then they'll support us ongoing, you know, so that we can be sustainable. Because, like I said, I didn't want to waste my time if we're going to just do this for 3 years and have fall off the map. But he's got 3 foundations and a 4th one kind of iffy that are all watching what we do.
Okay.
So if they start funding, then we will have no place to go but up. We'll be able to grow the program, and hopefully the cost of training and implementation will drop off, and we'll be able to ramp up the efforts that we, you know, need in our community that will solve the problem. The software costs will be reduced.
So whose employee is it going to be? It said, I thought you said on one hand it was going to be partially funded by the county.
No money is coming from the county. It's going to be a hire, that's a joint hire between the county and Council for Drug for Youth, but it's all going to be funded by the grant. It's going to be grant funded. And, you know, Christy and I can work out the details as to you know, I mean, she can hire the person as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not, you know, I don't have to be in charge of anything. I just want to make it work. And I'm
So they're gonna
here
have
to.
anything in there for housing the employee or anything for housing this project or anything? Is there gonna be any rent in the grant or anything to help?
No, no rent. I mean, we do have $5,000 for the county for like community outreach and education, but no, like office space or rent was built into the grant, no. But, I mean, again, we haven't submitted it, so if you think that's something that we need to add, I mean, I can certainly think about that.
I think once we get into the new building, we'll have space. That's,
You'll have 7,000 people lined up for that space if we just start housing people in there, though.
Right.
That's where I struggle with it, because we told CAXA, you know, we really didn't have room for them in the courthouse. You'll have everybody wanting to house their stuff in county buildings, so I just think we gotta be careful with it.
Right,
I like the idea. I don't know how you're gonna measure the success of it.
right.
Um,
And that's why I need to show you the software. I can't, I could talk all day long and it still wouldn't make any sense. But if you see the Coalition Resource Hub, the map, the strategic map, you would be able to, I see it. I mean, I showed it to Chrissy a little bit, but.
But I mean, what's this person doing with that? Entering stuff into it?
Well, they're also training different people at SSM and Cap Region, at the various entities. They're training people at those entities to enter. And then they're entering the data as we try a solution. As we implement something, they're going to enter the results. We're going to have pre and post tests and evaluative data for everything, single thing that we do, definitely.
We
So-
might want to, along with rent and stuff, we want to add expenses for that person, because we were talking about only paying them $30,000 to $35,000, so we can't expect them to cover all their travel expenses.
We do have travel built in.
Okay.
Yeah, travel was one of the things that we added, because, no, they're not going to be able to,
See that?
yeah. Travel, in the budget?
Yeah, I
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make sure that it's there, but I know we talked about it, so let's write that down.
So Jeff brought up a good point. I mean, is it gonna be a county employee, or is it gonna be?
Well, originally, we had talked about it being a county employee. And then my board was like, well, why, I thought it was going to be a CDFY employee. And I'm like, well, again, I don't care who employs this person. As far as I'm concerned, I think that, yes, we want them to be able to report the data back. Yes, we want them to be able to coordinate with everyone. And if, you would feel better having it be a full-time county employee, I'm fine with that too. But I think that it would be just as easy if we had them part-time at CDFY, part-time at the county. But if that will cause issues in the community or issues with other partners, I'm not trying to cause problems, I'm trying to find solutions here.
part-time, we don't pay any benefits, so.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking that would be a plus. I don't know about for the employee, though. What?
Daniel just asked me
How are you writing the grant? Is it gonna be in your name when you're submitting the grant?
Well, because you're already submitting for the grant, right?
Well, we're going to submit a separate one, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think that we can submit
Multiple.
grant applications for the same grant.
Right, yeah, so it would have to be in our name. That was one of the things we had to discuss.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And you're already submitting one, so we can't do that. So yes, it would be in our name, and ACT Missouri is going to have to be our fiscal agent at that dollar level, because it's a percentage of our budget that they won't allow. It's only 25%. So ACT Missouri, the state agency, is going to be our fiscal agent, and that's already been agreed upon too, so.
So if you're going to do the fiscal agent, because originally when we talked about it, we needed to be the fiscal agent because it was more than your budget. So
Well, if you're going to be the fiscal agent, then that would be great, but I don't think you can
I don't
be
think we can do that.
and submit. That's the problem, because you're already submitting for the grant. So we have to submit for the grant. So, yeah, one of the deals was we were going to have the county hire this person, because then it would reduce the cost of the grant, obviously, $30,000 to $35,000 a year, but since that really won't take away from it. But I still felt like after our conversation that would heighten our partnership and certainly heighten collaboration. And so it was really more about collaborative efforts than financial efforts.
Right, I'm just wondering if you guys are gonna get the fiscal agent anyway, if you just go ahead and hire the person. If you need space at our office, we can do that since you already have 5,000 built in. But I'm thinking as far as like the auditor's office, having the person paid part-time from the county and part-time from CDFY is gonna become a financial nightmare.
Okay.
I don't know, what do you think they do?
I agree. So I was gonna suggest they.
I mean, it would be different if we could be your fiscal agent, but if we're already applying for the grant separately, then we can't. I don't think they'll let us do it.
No, I don't either. I don't think so. I don't think you
I mean, we
can.
want to collaborate on the project because the opioid epidemic is really important to us, obviously.
Right, right. So the collaborative
But I don't want
effort.
to make Danielle and Kristen's life a nightmare.
And they're going, they're the money people going, yeah, no, the money matters, okay?
Tracking a person out of two different, yeah.
Okay,
Can I just say too?
Sure.
When you get your grant and you will sign, since you apply for it, you will sign the grant with the granting agency.
Right.
So you have your list of certified assurances.
right,
And I think if this employee is your employee, it
Right.
would be easier to comply with the
certified assurances.
rather than if it's a county employee and you can't, monitor that.
What they're doing?
Right.
Okay. And that all makes sense. So then I guess all we need you to do is house it. And we would give you $5,000 to do that. So, I mean, yeah, and that's why I wanted to come talk to everybody about it, because I'm not sure. I was thinking originally that if we transfer the employee to be a county employee, that it would be advantageous, because then that would reduce the cost of the grant that much, but it really won't. The grant will still be required to have that much money in it. So, then we would just need you to house it, if you'd be willing to do that.
Okay.
And you'd be willing to, supervise them part-time when they're at your place, and make sure they're there,
Do we have any liability, Jill, if having this entity in the county?
Yeah.
No, I don't really think,
Okay.
I mean, I suppose to a certain extent being on our premises like
Okay.
anybody else. I mean, if this person punches somebody,
Oh.
we might be in trouble. But,
Well, and you could be involved in hiring with me too, Christy. I mean, I would be more than happy to have you serve on the, because again, if we're going to work together as a collaborative entity, to have you, work with me on the hiring process, I think that would be helpful, So, yeah, there's no liability, you don't think?
well, I mean, there's always liability with everything.
Right.
But I don't see the problem with housing this person on county property.
I mean, I don't either, but, I'm always looking at the glass half full, everything in my world is happy and good.
I mean, no more than any other employee.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so you would be okay with that. All right, works for me.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it, too.
I'm okay applying for it. I think there's a lot of
Well-
questions that need to be answered.
Again, and
Yeah.
that's the thing, we're totally, again, we might come back in November, December and say, yeah, we didn't get it. And then nobody has anything to worry about.
And just get worried about housing, everything and anything, because everybody's gonna come and want a spot.
Right,
So,
well,
just think we
and
have to be
I get
careful with
that,
that.
Jeff, I do, and that's why I said, I'm not trying to alienate any of your other potential community partners, I want to support that.
Now, we
But-
do some education and stuff with opioid
Right,
stuff already at Department of Health, so that's just the benefit of it is gonna be something that's definitely gonna have to be weighed. And I just get real nervous with grants, because there's always some strings attached to them that
oh, yeah.
drive me nuts, so I'm okay with partnering with, or I guess tentatively agreeing so that
Apply
you
for
can
the grant.
apply for
Yeah.
the grant.
Yeah, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, there you go, that's all we can do. Okay, thanks, gentlemen, I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you, Joey.
See, I made it come back to reality, okay? Got all that joviality out of here, I'm sorry.
Okay, commission comments. Bids and contracts, bid award for 2017-30 collection services.
We received 3 bids for collection services. I guess I could have moved. And Weinstein, Carp and Associates is the lowest for both regular and legal accounts. Jerry and I both reviewed Their bid submission and everything appears to be in order, and the recommendation is for Weinstein, Carp and Associates.
Is this for collections for what? EMS?
Delinquent EMS
Okay.
accounts.
And our current vendor is not doing that, or?
We haven't bid this since 2009, and they were aware of this bid and opted not to respond, so.
So how does that work? I mean, they're trying to collect, and at what point do they turn it over to somebody else?
What time?
They'll turn all the existing accounts over with the data that they have today to the new vendor. There'll be some transition. But from the effective date of the execution of this contract, all the delinquent accounts will go to the new vendor.
So what's considered delinquent, I
From the
guess?
billing company, whenever they turn, after 90 days, they turn it over.
There's parameters for our third-party billing vendor. To be honest with you, I don't know what the timeline generally is. Once all the insurance is collected and/or 90 days in the case of private pay, it goes to the collection agent.
So, I don't have a problem with this. I mean, I just think there's a lot a lot of confusion that could be had there with medical billing, and so, you could be making payments or something for years on a bill. I mean, is that delinquent, or?
I mean, they've been doing it the same way
There's
since.
two stages to this, really. There's the stage that you go from the active claim that you determine to be uncollectible. It goes to the collection agency, and then once the collection agency decides that we're not going to collect anything, and then we have to write it off. There's two pieces to that. My biggest concern is this was a very well thought out and written response, and the price that they're willing to give us is actually less than we're paying now. I have no concerns with the company whatsoever. The transition's going to be challenging, but it's going to be challenging with anything, because they're going to have to pick up the ball that all the accounts that are sitting with the current vendor will have to be transferred to them. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I don't think it's insurmountable.
Our current vendor just did not bid?
Correct.
Okay, well, we weren't real happy with them anyway, so.
We've had some issues.
Yeah, it's,
And weren't they like 24% or right around there too? So I mean, this is significantly lower contingency fee. I know they were over 20.
Yeah, and this one's 14 and a half.
Right.
yeah.
So is this just a one-year agreement?
Yeah, this contract that I have, if you'll entertain it, is for 1 year and then it's renewable.
Okay. So we can kind of try it out for a year, see how things go. I mean, obviously, like Jerry said, there's going to be some issues up front, probably, trying to figure all that out, but they're obviously not getting paid unless they collect stuff.
I find this to be a better, just in reading to them and talking to them, I find this to be a better solution than what we're dealing with currently. I would support this.
Good, or?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Questions?
Try them out.
So are we awarding, or are we signing a contract, or both? Okay. I move that we award and sign the contract with Weinstein, Carp and Associates for collection services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Signing of contract for 2017-31 food services.
You guys awarded this last week. This is just the contract that we were able to put together for children.
Trinity Services.
Yes.
I move that we sign the food services agreement with Trinity Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Janitorial supplies renewal 3 of 5, 2014-24R3.
We currently use Hilliard. We've had them for 4 years now, I guess. And they did have slight increases this year, but looking at the spend that we do spend with them, it's like 1.01%. Just a little bit on a few items, so we would recommend renewing that.
This is the second year of the 3-year contract we got, or the
This
options.
is, yeah, this is the third of 5 possible
Or
renewals.
second round, we just rebid it 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to rebid it again?
We bid, no, and we bid it in 2014.
I know.
We'll put you in charge, Jim.
I never thought that bidding crap paper would be that much of a headache.
So your spreadsheet here, looks like is that a $445 increase?
The impact. at
Over
the end of
all
the-
departments, or?
Yeah, over everything that we spend, it should be 400, and we spend 40,000 something, so
Okay.
it was like a 1% at the end of the day.
I'm good.
Fine with it, yeah. It's fun. I really don't look forward to that.
It's fun.
So this is renewal number 3.
Yes.
I move that we sign renewal number 3 with Hilliard Janitorial Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have any unfinished business? New business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable. There's some utility bills out there that are dated for today. Pending review.
I move we approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Greg, have we seen much difference in the utilities with the new LED lights right offhand?
I have not, but it's kind of hard to see any real improvements yet with doors and windows standing wide open since we've been doing painting and stuff. And
Okay.
AC going on.
I was just curious. A lot of people have said you'll notice a big difference, so.
I've been kind of watching it. It is, our usage has not gone up like it has over the years. Every year we're getting more and more usage, more kilowatts used. This year it's staying pretty flat, so I think it is working.
Good. Every time you see them utility bills, you about choke.
Yes.
Okay. We approved that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Approval of care leave recommendation by Larry Vincent, Chairman. Chairman Vincent?
Too bad it's not an elected position rather than an appointed position.
I heard they're gonna double your pay this year for it though.
I was gonna triple it.
There's actually 2 things, and you may, well, it looks like you have them.
I have.
I'm giving you it anyway.
Thanks, sir.
First, we're recommending some changes to the care leave. I'll have another one,
Okay.
but I'll give you mine one. First, we're recommending some changes to the care leave program. Our current program limits it to the employee only, and looking at the circumstances surrounding a current request and looking at the state's program, they include the employee's spouse or dependent children. And that's the first change you see on in item I. And if you go back to page 3, under section B, you'll see where we're, besides changing who it includes, we're kind of changing the description of the probationary period, because that varies by departments. So we put in there the eligibility will be determined on a case-by-case basis. And then in that same section, number 1 in the highlighted yellow is what we're adding, and what is crossed out in red is what we're removing. Again, this makes it eligible for donated leave for, that includes spouses or dependent children if they've experienced a catastrophic illness or injury requiring the employee's personal care and attention. And obviously, the final decision concerning the granting of leave under this section shall rest with the county commission. So our first request would be that the commission approve these changes to the care leave program.
So in number 5, we're still leaving the 6-month probationary period must be complete. We're leaving that.
Well, eligibility can be determined on a case-by-case basis.
If,
We think there could be exceptions to that.
okay. Do probationary periods vary by department, or?
Our personnel manual says 6 months. I understand road deputies on the road, they are a year in the sheriff's department.
Okay.
But by the definition of our personnel manual, it is 6 months. So that's why we've always interpreted it to be 6 months with this. Bad thing is if you have one employee that does apply for it, is within 2 weeks of being here, the 6 months. So that kind of gives by a case-by-case basis.
But where do you draw the line?
I know.
That's the problem. You start making exceptions.
Right.
And it's a slippery slope.
Well, we understand that, but, and in the care leave that we're asking you to approve, that's exactly what the situation is, where it's within 12 days, I believe, or
less.
Or less. If you count working days, it's less than that.
I think it still falls on our shoulders then, and you look at each case individually.
It would be nice if everything was just cut and dry, but I think there are instances when they aren't.
That's why we threw it back on the care leave committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, and we made a decision, but ultimately, you have to make the you have to approve of it.
Yeah, it's like a tennis match.
You can rubber stamp it, you know.
I mean, I'm fine with the changes y'all recommended, because y'all went through it, y'all looked at it. And then ultimately, I guess if there's gonna be exceptions, it will be up to us to decide if we're gonna start making exceptions to the rules.
But then it falls back to the care leave committee to decide how much leave is granted to one person or those individuals.
We did not change that criteria. The most you can get is
60.
I brought the wrong folder with me, so I didn't. Is it in here? 60
Yeah.
days is the most anyone can get.
Do you approve 60 days all at once, or?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We normally do it in the 30-day
Increments?
increments.
Okay.
It's number 6 under that same change there, the maximum amount of time.
When we were on a month-to-month payroll basis, we would do it for a month at a time.
I see.
We're staying with that 30-day period and reviewing it prior to that 30 days being up.
Should we, not to throw change in there, but since we don't do payroll based on a month, should we do that based on so many weeks?
Well, and we pay behind now, so if we just keep it at the 30 days, it will give me time to get care leave committee meeting met and then get it back on your agenda. So I think it will work with the 30 days. It just gives a little bit more latitude between the two meetings that we can. And then also an update with the employee. Employees may not need the whole 60 days, so that's why we never really went that direction. And even if they don't need the whole 30, it will stop.
But we're talking about 30 actual days, and so if a holiday falls in there, that doesn't count.
Right.
So it could be, I mean, I guess you have a different payroll item for care leave or something there.
Yeah, there's no.
Because you have to put it in by day, I mean, I would assume.
I actually, we talked about that when we changed to BSNA, but there's no pool of it in BSNA because it's a flowing number. So I do have a spreadsheet, we do keep track of how many gets used, how many gets donated and stuff like that, because it comes off their holiday, their holiday vacation. They can't give sick, so.
How many times a year do we use this on a,
We haven't used it for probably 2 years now, or 3.
I would say at least.
It's
okay,
just
so it's
whenever
not,
they
it's
need-
not something that,
We could have 2 or 3 in 1 year,
Okay.
and we couldn't have any for 2 or 3 years.
okay.
When we first started this back in '93, it was definitely dedicated for the employees to use. All these years up until probably, I'd say the last 3 years, because we haven't had to use it, we never had enough balance in there to include more people, be it a spouse or dependent. Now, as the pool sets, we probably have enough for 4.5 employees right now. Could we get a rein on employees that need it? We hope not.
So it still all would come before your committee and then you make the recommendation to us?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
And we do our due diligence at the end of the year when people are going to lose their time to fill out the form for them, send it to the employee, hey, will you donate? So, and that's why it's really grown technically.
So I guess, I hate to keep muddying the water here, but anyway, we got a lot of different diverse departments
Yes.
in the county. And so when you talk about a day, we're talking about an 8-hour day?
Yes.
Does it spell that out in here?
In here, as to what they can give or as to what they can
What they can get.
get.
Well, we got.
I break it down by the hour. So 60 days, 8 hours a day, what is that? 420, I think. So
I just
that's-
want to make sure that we're all talking about the same thing. So I mean, if somebody's working a 12-hour day,
Right.
they're not getting 30 12-hour days.
No. It's 60 days times 8 hours, 480. So I break it down by the hour, 480. So once they get to the 480, it's done.
Okay.
I mean, does it spell it out? No. I guess we can. 'Cause that's how I've always done it. Kind of
Bless
like,
you.
I think the personnel manual states about the day is based on an 8-hour day.
Okay. I'm good with the recommended changes.
And two.
So I move that we approve the changes to the Care Leave program.
I'll second. I'm fine with what the committee's recommending. I think it's probably geared more towards the employees, but it won't hurt for them to request it, and if you don't see it fits the criteria, then the Care Leave Committee can, I guess, decline it or reject it, or, is there gonna be smaller numbers for if it's a dependent or a spouse? Or do you have that discretionary power to determine how much they get?
It's the same amount, but it has to fit the, catastrophic illness, has to fit all of the requirements of the program, whether it's a spouse or a child.
That's all I got.
We've not been, just willy-nilly about giving out hours. We monitor it, we follow progress whenever we've had one, and make sure that it's based on the need.
I got a question.
Yes.
Larry, you know right now, they have to expend their holiday time, vacation time.
They have
and
to
sick
burn
leave.
everything they have first.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. I was gonna make that recommendation.
Same with state.
Yeah.
The last time we used this was 2014 for an employee.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I think it's a good program, it helps.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then
Time of need.
we have a request to grant 30 hours is what we, 30 days, I mean. I brought the wrong folder, I don't have what our minutes were. I'm also on the
Boy, I'll
safety
tell
committee,
you.
and I brought my safety committee.
I'll tell you.
One job.
Larry,
One job.
You go to my office right now and see if you can find anything in there.
come up here and wrap your knuckles.
I wish it would be clean, let me tell you. They're scraping the paint back off the walls now, so
What's happened?
paint didn't stick.
Picky, picky, picky.
Our recommendation is for 30 days. It's for an employee that, I don't know how much
Yeah, we can't say
we
too
get,
much.
can we say where they work?
Yes, we can say that.
Works for the sheriff's department. They have a child with a
A need.
need, and we recommended that, we are recommending to the commission that 30 days be granted for that employee.
On an as-needed basis.
On an as-needed basis.
Then if it extends past the 30, then they'll have to
We would,
request more,
we,
so then y'all can.
depending on the
review it again.
circumstances, we would meet again, look at how things stand at that time, and make a recommendation either for 30 days more or deny the request.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good with it. We got the committee to do that stuff, so.
I move that we approve the recommendation of the care leave committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Vincent.
Thanks, Larry.
Is this one of those you ever get out of?
There's no term limit.
When you find your replacement.
Jeff will put you in charge of parking.
You, yeah, when you find your replacement, then you can have out of it. We can let you have off tomorrow for your birthday.
Oh, thank you. Like I need your permission.
Don't make me call Trish.
Oh. Hi,
He's
Steve.
pretty quick in the morning. You gotta get him in the afternoon when he hasn't had his nap. He's a little
Oh, I do
slower.
have one. Yeah, I got Larry. Thanks, Chris.
Okay. Do we have anything else to discuss before we go into closed session?
No, I do want to mention back in the back, the Missouri Farm Care dropped off 4 of the signs that were for the Ag Ready County designee that we applied for, and you guys declared the county Ag Ready. So I just need to know in what area of the county you want Road
What kind
Bridge
of
to
signs?
put these signs up. I couldn't lift them, so,
They like metal signs?
yeah,
Really?
They're nice.
there you
Oh.
go.
I think you all need a selfie.
Says Carrie was with the
I got
Purple
a phone.
Hearts.
I want to see them.
Yeah, we ought to.
We're already a Purple Heart County though, so we beat them to it.
Russellville beat them to it.
So if you guys be thinking of where you would like Public Works to place those signs and across the county, I will be glad to let them know where to.
There's 4 of them
Yes.
that we had talked about on.
50 and 54.
Yeah.
And then maybe coming across the bridge.
I don't think you can put them on the bridge. That's a-
Well, but you can put them just on the other side.
I don't know, MoDOT might let us put it there. I doubt it.
You can do like the homeless guys and we'll just stand you there. There's-
That's what I'm gonna do for the next election. I'm just gonna give them $100 a year, hold one of my signs every day. Then somebody's gonna call me.
Just taking a sandwich every day.
I don't think they want food. I think they want cash.
I think you ought to put one of them back in each commissioner's vehicle.
Yeah.
Commissioner's vehicle. We got one of those?
I don't know. A red Chevy?
Easy now.
Kristen's not here yet.
Okay, so coming in on 50 and coming in on 54 within the county, and then at the bridge.
Well, you're gonna have 54 and 50, y'all have east and west. That'll take care of all four.
Oh, okay. And that bridge is one of them, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we can find some place to put it there or else.
East and west of 50.
we'll talk to Mr. Sylvester. He's pretty nice.
Yeah, they're pretty much sticklers on the signage though, coming into, on overpasses and bridges. You might be able to get it done. You get along with everybody. Don't tell me no.
Anything else?
No, I just need to figure out a couple dates with you guys, but no.
Dates.
As far as meetings that we can have.
Thought you meant the fruit.
Nope.
I was getting hungry.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I don't have.
I think that's it for me.
Maybe we go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri for personnel issues sub 3.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.